32 years, 18 attempts later, New Zealand have finally created history. Breaking news, New Zealand have beaten South Africa in a bilateral test series for the very first time ever. And this is a historic feat in itself because New Zealand had beaten other teams in the past. Australia, they had beaten in 1985. They had beaten India also in the past, but not in India. They had beaten Pakistan, they had beaten Sri Lanka, they had beaten West Indies, England, but they had never beaten South Africa. Ever since they started playing in from 1932 onwards, they have never beaten South Africa. In fact, such was a stat that at the Basin Reserve in Wellington, 80 years of playing, it wasn't South Africa's fortress. But today, this has been dispelled thanks to a brilliant century from Kane Williamson. Williamson hit his 32nd test ton, and it was the fastest that he's ever got. He's the fastest to get to 32 test tons. Look at the magnitude of this win. 32 test tons, and this one, he's had a purple patch even from the first test onwards. Had 200s even at Mount Maunganui, by which New Zealand won. Here they were having a tricky chase of 267, but New Zealand managed to win with 7 wickets in hand. Devon Conway had fallen the previous day, but Latham and if you look at it, they steadied the ship, but after that even they fell. But Williamson, as solid as a rock, 3 centuries in the 4 innings that he's played here in this series against South Africa, and New Zealand have finally beaten them. It will not be, many people say, oh, but this was a C-grade South African team. This South African team anyway were deserving to lose because they didn't send their real full-strength squad for the series in New Zealand. SA-20 priorities were the key here. But looking at it, this is part of the WTC Championships. And because of this, New Zealand now, among all the contenders for the WTC final, are the only team who have not yet lost a home test. Yes, they have not yet lost a home test. Australia have lost a home test. India have lost a home test. England have lost a home test. South Africa have lost a home test. And New Zealand, probably their luck might run out when Australia come to in March for 2 tests. But at this point in time, New Zealand, it is a moment of celebration. So many times they came close. In 2004, they had won the first test in Auckland, but then after that, they squandered the lead in Hamilton with Graham Smith hitting a brilliant century there. Then all the other past instances, New Zealand didn't come close to winning in South Africa. And now here, they have finally managed to win a brilliant, brilliant series. Williamson, I mean, let us have a look at his 4th innings record. I mean, he is one of the beasts in this form of the game when it comes to the 4th innings. You want to look at centuries, tricky run chases, we have Kane Williamson at our disposal. Williamson's calm and along with his 100-run partnership with Will Young ensured that Kane Williamson has cemented his place among the Fab Four. He's now level with Steve Smith with 32 test tons, followed by Joe Root and then Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli is now last in the Fab Four. Root currently is undergoing a very lean patch for England. He's got on 30 tons. Then you look at even Steve Smith, even he's not set the stage on fire for close to 1 year. Yes, he had an Ashes ton, he had a WTC final ton, but by his high standards, he's not set the stage on fire. Kane Williamson, on the other hand, is capitalizing on each and every moment, and boy, oh boy, is he making them pay, and is he reaping the rewards now. Kane Williamson with 32 test runs and maybe amongst the youngest in the Fab Four, perhaps he can go the full distance and break Sachin Tendulkar's record. We don't know. Tendulkar's century tally, let's look at it. In ODIs has been broken. In tests, his 51 test hundreds, that is one record which is in danger of not being broken, but maybe we don't know. If Williamson can continue his good run for 2 more years, let's see how that goes. So the day began with South Africa wanting to create some inroads. Dane Peat had taken 5 wickets in the first innings. Even here, he was the main difference maker, 3 wickets. He's taken a total of 8. Now, after this, they ensured that Williamson could just not be dislodged. And because of that, South Africa, they had taken a lead of close to 30 runs because New Zealand could collapse in the first innings. But here, in the second innings, South Africa lost 5 wickets for 18 runs. And because of that, they could not get a lead in excess of 300. 267 in Hamilton. It was chased successfully by New Zealand. And because of this now, It is a great, great day for New Zealand cricket. They finally have a series victory against each and every nation. Yes, they have a series victory against each and every nation now. South Africa was the last thorn in the flesh that was there. That has now been removed. And New Zealand now has cemented their spot in the top of the ICC World Test Championships, because New Zealand heading into the second test were already on top, with Australia losing in the test in Brisbane. So this is the current situation that we have. So New Zealand on top, India are currently in second. Looks like if things stay in this way, you could have a repeat of the 2021 WTC final then. But tougher assignments are coming up. India are currently battling England in Rajkot. If India win that, even they will stay in contention for the first spot. New Zealand, on the other hand, now they have got two tests coming up now against Australia. That's going to be a big, big series for them. On the other hand, if you look at it, apart from India, New Zealand, Australia will now come for two tests there. South Africa will now play West Indies and Bangladesh in their next away assignments. Their two home assignments will be against Pakistan and Sri Lanka. So South Africa, maybe this 2-0 loss might not impact them much, but their two away series against the West Indies and most notably against Bangladesh could decide their fortunes in a WTC now. So I've got some questions. Can Kane beat Sachin's 51 centuries considering his age is 33 and upcoming home test series? It's difficult. I mean, see, he's got a purple patch now, but then Kane Williamson, looking at it in the last couple of years, has been beset by injuries also. So it will not be easy, but he's got a good chance. I mean, he's joined top now with Steve Smith with 32 tons among the Fab Four now. So if he gets it, great. I mean, you would want a New Zealander rewriting the history books in some way or the other. Can Kane get to 45 test centuries? Akash Bharadwaj asking. Maybe. Injuries aside, he has to be injury-free. And in test matches, he's been in prime form. Maybe in this next 1-2 years, if he has a purple patch, I mean, he's already got 3 centuries in the series against South Africa. Maybe he can do it. Maybe if he continues his good form against Australia, perhaps he can do it. Who will end the highest in Fab 4? Akash, you are picking Steve Smith. It's a close one. I mean, I will say now I'm also backing Steve Smith to do well. But then remember, Smith plays a lot more tests against quality opponents also. New Zealand against India, they only play 2. Against Australia, they play 2. Against England, they are going to play 3. They don't get to play 5 tests or 4 tests against each other. So that's why that is a bit of a dampener. And many people will ask now, oh, but Kane has got his hundreds in home. He struggles overseas. Actually, that's not the case. Williamson does do well wherever he goes. Yes, his record in India is not that great. His record in South Africa is not that great. England, he just averages over 30. But Williamson has got crucial tons and runs in very, very difficult circumstances. So that's why, yes, C-grade South African team arriving in New Zealand, but the scoreline is an apt reflection. Ignoring test cricket just for your SA20, this had to happen. But understand South Africa's predicament also. The SA20 is making money for them. Test cricket isn't. So that's why it's a big, the outer fringes of the big 3, you will get these kind of situations. So congratulations to New Zealand, who have managed to win a series against South Africa after 18 attempts, 92 years in the making. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates on sports today. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live. And don't forget, we are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. And don't forget to download the Sports Talk mobile app for all the information you need in English and Hindi. Bye-bye.